Hey guys, Coldbrew here. Welcome back to another raid video. Hope you're having a great Friday. We've got a new raid digest out, and I want to cover this because it does mention some important things about champion rebalancing and the Hydra quick battles that we just added into the game, that the developers have just added into the game. I wanted to cover this and take a break from the takeover that I'm doing, which is on my account. I'm trying to make a better Chimera team for the trials. I'm not trying to get damage, I'm trying to get more trials, because that's how you get the relic crafting stuff. So I want to do that and just make my account better through that, because in the long term, that's how you become better. You'll have better relics, basically, instead of just getting higher results. Apparently the top 3 results, even on the Chimera, don't really matter. It's all about the trials. Anyway, let's jump into the raid digest for the 7th of February 2025. Let's see what the developers are telling us. Let's see what raid is telling us. So here it is. After the fierce siege battles and eventful 10/20 release, we believe it's time to sit back and enjoy our Friday raid digest. Without further ado, let's start. Hydra quick battles. We introduced the Hydra quick battles in the last release, and we want to address some common questions. Our goal with the Hydra was to encourage team optimization and strategy to preserve player interaction. Manual or semi-auto battles remain the best strategy for top results. This has always been the case, basically, at least with quick battles. Even on clan boss, clan boss, it's relatively easier to tune it, but some teams might not even work on auto. So you would go manual or semi-auto, let's say skipping 1 turn or something. So it seems to be the case here as well. Quick battles are a time-saving tool for those willing to trade in some efficiency for convenience. We recommend fine-tuning your teams first before testing them in quick battles. You do have 5 chances on the quick battle, so there's that. You can test out on how good it works for the quick battles. Maybe test your team in, let's say, 50 turns. If it's working like you want to, just close the game and then use a quick battle to just get the full amount of results. Pretty much that's a good way to see it. But the thing with the Hydra is that it gets more difficult as the turns go by. So it's more difficult to get your champions back after they're eaten. It's more difficult to just make sure that it works all the way to the 1,000 turn limit. So with that in mind, you might want to check it like in a full run to see if it works, and then be okay, I'll just be doing quick battles from now on. Maybe you want to do that, but that's it. That's it. What they basically wanted to transfer to us with this. And then aspect of Zeroth Relic and its effect on terminator manipulation. We introduced an immunity skills fix on the last patch, right? So when a champion skill states that they're immune to certain debuffs or effects, they're truly immune to them. There's one exception to the rule though. Terminator manipulation immunity protects champions only from effects generated by the enemy. So effects from relics such as aspect of Zeroth will still apply to the immune champions. We will adjust the skill description to better reflect this caveat. So with that, I think I've got this relic. I think it's this one, isn't it? So when the wearer receives fatal damage, reduces it by 50% of their Terminator and then fully reduces their Terminator. So basically the immunity to Terminator manipulation does not include your own Terminator manipulation. It's what they mean. Okay, so they're gonna adjust this to maybe this description here, or in general the immunity description, what immunity gives you, I guess, is what they're adjusting. So that's pretty cool. It kind of makes sense. Like your own manipulation of, you know, buffs and debuffs and stuff affects yourself. So it's kind of how, I guess, Seer can use all the buffs from the team to use her command burn, I guess. So champions rebalance process. This is very interesting. So after each champion's rebalance, we often see the same question. So we decided to clarify some of the aspects players were curious about. So how do devs choose champions to rebalance? Player feedback and in-game champion ratings, now that it has been reset, are essential factors. I don't know about that. Players know best the strong and weak sides of a champion. Yeah, but not all players bother with ratings, right? So we prioritize champions that players see as lacking and make appropriate changes. History of rebalances. If the champions already had a rebalance recently, they are less likely to receive another one. This is not true. They've done rebalances on champions that have been rebalanced in the past. in the past patch, they've done this, and yeah, this is not the case. This is not. I can't recall all the champions, obviously, that have been rebalanced, but I'm pretty sure they've done double rebalances on some champions. It didn't work out, right? Older champions have a higher priority than the new ones. Yeah, that makes sense, because in my eyes, they make new champions thinking, okay, we messed up in the past. Let's not do the same thing with this one. Let's not give them one skill and call them a legendary. And yeah, we'll see. However, it is a case-by-case process, so you can still see newer champions in your monthly rebalances. Of course you can, because some champions are straight up to the bin, you know, as Hell Hades used to say. I'm not sure if he says it. Anyway, Void Affinity also affects our decision. Void legendaries are hard to come by, so we want them to meet player expectations and update their kits when possible, like they did with Constantine, right? So they buffed Constantine, the most recent buff, to a Void champion. And they do that because Void champions, when you get a Void legendary, you want to have a Void legendary. You want to have something that a normal legendary can do, because champions such as Harima, for example, she could have been a Void legendary with what she does. So, champions from persistent fusions or similar sources have a lesser priority for rebalance. They are mainly meant to introduce mechanics to players or fulfill somewhat niche roles on the team, so are less likely to receive a rebalance as long as they serve that purpose. So, from persistent fusions or similar sources have a lesser priority for rebalance. So, what they're saying is, I'm not talking about Mikage because she doesn't need a rebalance. She's perfect. Don't touch Mikage, please. So I'm talking about Razen. I'm talking about, oh, come on. You want to tell me right now that, all right, let's just go and see it. You want to tell me right now that this guy, Relic Keeper, does not need a rebalance. He is, I believe, the only champion in the game that has an aura for campaign battle ally attack boosting. He has some usage, I'm gonna be honest. But this guy is definitely a 2019 to 2020 champion. I haven't seen him used anywhere other than maybe a Dark Fae team. And that's a maybe, because he's an epic, okay? You could do basically upgrades on him for free, in the sense of you can make multiple copies of Relic Keeper, but I've never seen a Relic Keeper do something that's amazing. Can't definitely be used if you push him, but if somebody could use a change, it probably would be this guy, right? I guess. Broadmaw, no, yeah, it's a great fusion. I definitely say this is like a fantastic fusion. He works very well for his own faction, Lizardman. He does the faction, you know, a lot of help with having a revive. Works very well for what he is, which is basically a free epic void, and you can make multiple copies of him for when you want to be picking up points for when we've got stuff like right now, the summoning tournaments, right? Summoning tournaments, the quality of the epic also counts. If you summon a void epic, that's 350 points instead of the 250 for Relic Keeper. So there's that. But I would say definitely Relic Keeper could use a buff, right? I mean, okay. But generally is like they say they fulfill somewhat niche roles. Okay. Very niche for Relic Keeper. Haven't seen a Relic Keeper. Well, why do we not rebalance champions more often? Rebalance of a champion is essentially the same process as creating a new one, with the added bonus that the champion model is already in the game. It's not the same process. I would say it's 20% of what the process is, and I'll explain it. While we may not look at it on the outside, it's a long process that involves work from multiple departments, and if we prioritize rebalancing more champions, it will significantly slow down our update release schedule. Rebalances are an endless process, so when we have any wiggle room in the update, we're more likely to include quality of life features than an additional champion rebalance. Yeah, this is kind of a bunch of bullcrap, if you ask me. If I'm gonna be brutally honest here, I've played more games than Raid Shadow Legends. I've played World of Warcraft, and come on, you want to tell me that you cannot rebalance in skill that's already in the game and not change a 20% to a 40%, let's say, if it's like an ignore defense mechanic, or add an ignore defense mechanic to a champion that should have it, because they basically, their multipliers are crap, or change a multiplier from a 3 to a 4. You can't do that because it needs multiple departments to do that. That is a bunch. Yeah. There's definitely what they want, guys, is they want us to keep on summoning. Okay, so I'm gonna call you out on this one, Plarium, because this is totally should have included this. Because yeah, you want us to keep on summoning for champions. That's what you want. That's why you're not making a champion that might be available right now through a pass fusion to like 70% of the people. Okay, if they have him and suddenly make him, you know, meta and the best champion ever. So I know why you're not doing a lot of rebalances. You're doing it on champions that might not be what you're looking for. So have that in mind, guys. Why they're not doing rebalances. This is my own opinion, by the way. So call me out on that one if you want. But that's what I think. It's because they want us to keep on summoning and not use what we have if it becomes suddenly amazing and OP and the best thing ever. So what do we take into account when choosing which skills to rebalance? Champion's intended role and function. Performance in that role is what we look into the most. So we boost stats and abilities that will make them better at the role. Well, yeah. Trying to build an attacker as an attacker. If his attacking multiplier is 2, you want to make it a 3 and not make him a support, right? Yeah. There are, of course, cases where champion rework completely changes the skills or event roles of the champions, but they are an exception, not the rule. Sure. Yeah. I mean, if it completely changes the skills, I will say that it might revolve multiple departments. Like if it completely changes the skill and you have to involve a department where now they have to type in, instead of attacker, they got to make him a support. They got to change that and that and that. It's multiple departments, not just the department that, you know, handles skills, for example. Okay. So I understand like how this point can be with this, but we didn't really have such complete reworks of champions ever done. Like we've had simple things happen, but I guess, you know, it's not always the case. They are an exception of the rule. Yeah. Completely agree with that. So finally, clan v clan tournament and personal rewards. Prepare your weapons and polish your armor, as the next installment of CVC will come with personal rewards. Fantastic. May the strongest clan hold the victory. Sure. And that's what we all have today. We'll see you in 2 weeks time. So that was it for the raid digest, guys. The biggest things to take into account with this one is basically the rebalancing process that they have. For some time they completely stopped rebalances. That was pissed me off, because they used to do like a rebalance for at least 2 champions every month, and then they stopped. So that's what I don't like. They used to do 2 legendaries, 2 epics way back. Now they do just 2 legendaries. They don't want to be changing the epic so much. I want to see more rebalances. Plarium, you built a game with 900 champions or something, right? Make it look like you have 900 champions. Make it look like you put in effort. Because right now, I'm going to be honest, it's like it's lacking on that aspect of the rebalancing. Rebalancing should be an ongoing process, because what they want to say to us as players is, we want you guys to be focusing more on PvP. That's why we're trying to take off your time spent in the Hydra, the clan boss, doing now the super raids on the campaign. It's going to help players level up faster. With that in mind, you'll have more time to do live arena. Okay, I don't want to do live arena because my epics absolutely suck. Can you make them a little bit better even for arena? We'll think about it, but the champion rebalance process is very slow. So there's no hope for that. You better summon a legendary to do that. So come on, Plarium. Act like you want to be having a 2026 focused on PvP. 2025. Wow, I'm jumping a year ahead. So it's too much caffeine, guys. Too much caffeine. That's it for the raid digest, guys. The Hydra quick battles are amazing. I used my keys. I had to run one to unlock the quick battle feature, but I'll be using quick battles for the Hydra for the foreseeable future, because it just makes sense, right? Hydra takes a lot of time. Hydra takes a lot of time, longer than what the Chimera does. Although the Chimera still takes time. At least that's 2 keys and it's only 1 team you need to build. But even the Chimera right now, it's kind of because we gotta be careful when we building a team and making sure that the trials go as we want them to go, because that's how you get the rewards. Okay, interesting day, guys. Let me know your thoughts down below. I'll see you all in the next one. If you haven't subscribed, please consider doing so. I will highly appreciate it. Thank you all, guys. See you in the next one. See ya.